here we are again. If it's not, I was going to say an hour of death. Hasn't been an hour of death for a while. It's a delicate balance now. Thanks for joining us. We're here for you. You're here for me. It's just beautiful. I may end up not having the live show anymore because I can't get anyone at this point to commit as an assistant to the live shows. So, sorry for all of those of you out there who just love the live show. I know there's some of you out there. But anyhow, we can still do what we do. What do we do? We talk about Jesus, and I usually try to bring out some aspects of him that are maybe lesser known, and kind of help the atheists, the agnostics, and people of different faith out there see that Christianity has become something that Jesus never intended in a lot of ways. And of course there's some people out there who are doing it, practicing the faith in a way that's highly reflective of Jesus. But I personally believe that number to be, I would guess that percentage of people who profess to be Christians is probably, I don't know, I'm going to say maybe 20% of people who call themselves Christians are really living close to what he intended. I may be off on that, but that's just a guess. So, I'm going to grab the Bible because the Bible can be fun. The Bible can also be very miserable. And by that I mean it can be, I think there's evidence of tampering here. I think the beauty of our lives as human beings is that we have the opportunity to be love for each other. And there's also the potential of being deceit for each other. And for a variety of reasons. I think some of that may have snuck in here. Not because people are trying to be deceitful, but just because it's human nature not to be divine. You really have to practice, and you got to get good at being divine, I think. I know some Buddhists probably, or Taoists would probably take issue with me on that, saying that, this concept of Wu Wei, which is, just being without striving to be, is the path. And as much as I understand that, I also recognize there are things that have to be, willfully addressed. And I think once you do it, I think the paradox of it is that once you assert yourself a bit, then the Spirit of God can meet you there and help handle the load so it doesn't feel so burdensome. All right. So, what should we read then, huh? I don't want to just open up and just jump in there. I did that the other day, though, in the Psalms, and it was helpful in reminding me of, my experience isn't unique. There are plenty of people in the world who have called out to God in grief and desperation. And have you given up being faithful? But you feel like that sometimes. I think that's all part of it. I mean, we even have, an utterance from Jesus, supposedly saying from the cross, why have you forsaken me? I don't know that he said that. I would be willing to say it is likely that he said that, because he was such a dynamic figure in the history of the world that, with such anticipation for what he was going to do, and there wasn't the understanding of him being the Lamb of God slain before the foundation of the world, that whoever should believe in him should have everlasting life and the forgiveness of their sins. There was not that understanding of him at the time, so I would think there would be quite a few people witnessing his final hours and thinking, what are the utterances, or what will this one who had so much to say so frequently in such a profound manner that miraculously changed people's lives, what will he say now that he's moments from death? I would be willing to say that historically it's likely that we do have what he said, even though the Gospels differ on that point, among others. It saddens me even to think of what he underwent for our sake, and to draw us closer to a right way of living. And there's so much in our power to live that way, and so often we are too consumed with ourselves and our own thoughts and desires, and see beyond it. Having said that, I'm also thinking that I guess this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Jesus was such a challenge to the Judaic tradition, because he had his very own way of interpreting what were considered at the time the scriptures, that I also would not be surprised that the institutional church at the time, the beginnings of the Roman Church, may have destroyed certain manuscripts that had troubling statements from Jesus in them.